Hi, this is Brian Cush of the Video Game Review Podcast and the Game Time blog, and this is my interview with Chicago Bulls announcer Stacey King. Stacey was also a member of the first three Bulls World Championship teams back in 1991, 92, and 93. Stacey's also a big video game player, so he was nice enough to give us a couple minutes of his time to come on and talk video games, in particular NCAA football, which we played a few times online, but we'll get into that in the interview. The first thing I asked Stacey about were some of the games he played back in the day.
I go way back to Atari. Yeah, I started playing as a kid, Atari, in television, Sega, Genesis. So I go all the way back to, like, the very beginning.
And did you start playing the sports games and they started becoming popular, like EA Sports, like when you were probably on the Bulls versus Lakers games back in the day? Did you play those, or were you just too busy at the
No, I've been a sports guy my whole time. I like I said, I go back to the Atari with a little block football game where I mean, that's how far I go back to the sports games.
With just three guys on the field.
Yeah, three guys, and you can only go laterally and then
right
down.
So they're all running in unison too, like up.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I did that. I played the first basketball game was the Intellivision basketball game I played, which is really cool. That started it off, man. The television basketball was like the best.
Right, and you know it's old school when it just says the sport. The game is just basketball.
Yeah,
that's
it. It's old school, man. So, but I've been a big fan of the video games, especially the sports games for as far as they've been created, and then I just kind of grown with the times and stayed true to them, continue to go through every cycle, every new edition that's come out, from Madden to the college football to the basketball game. So I'm a big sports fan.
Now, Stacey, obviously you're a former professional athlete. You've played basketball at the highest levels. You're in a national championship game back in '88. Played in Final Fours. You played in the NBA Finals with the Bulls in 91, 92, and 93. And I always wondered, the reason guys like me, we play sports games kind of to live out our dream. I was never able to be a professional athlete, so I play games like Madden, NBA 2K, NCAA football, because I was never able to play on that level. But you actually played on that level, and I always wonder this about athletes. Someone like yourself who's actually played at the highest level, do you still get the same thrill, the same kind of competitive spirit playing a video game?
Yeah, I mean, it's still, when you're an athlete, everything's competition.
Right.
Everything's about competition. It goes through your training, through your actual practices, through your games. Everything you do is a competition. It seems like athletes make everything a competition. That's the only thing. That's pretty much the only way you can keep your edge as being an athlete is to have competition and to play to win. And you're taught at a young age, as a little kid. No one remembers who finished second. It's always the first loser. So everything's all about competition, and it's no different whether you're playing checkers or video games. The video games have gotten so sophisticated and so lifelike that you actually now, not only are you the player, you're actually the coach, the GM. I mean, you're basically everything that you see in real life. You become that in the video game. And so, as the games have gotten more intricate, and the online game, the online gaming has become, more competitive. Everybody's competitive. I've been playing it for a while, and, you listen to some of these guys when you're playing, they really get into it.
Yeah, they do. And you told me some stories. We've been chatting on Xbox Live. We played a few games, and we had a tight contest ourselves. You had your revenge, and you beat me pretty bad with Florida. But speaking of competitive, one team you don't want to play with anymore is Penn State. That's
No, they were terrible. I refused to play with those guys again. I thought I'd try something different. I try to play with different teams online because, what happens is that, you only play with one or two teams. Certain teams match up with certain guys, or if you're playing a non-ranked team, you like to know what the non-ranked teams do. So if your opponent picks a non-ranked team, you pick a non-ranked team, at least you have some idea what kind of team it is before you actually play. So, I'm pretty good, whereas I can play with pretty much anybody.
Yeah, and I'll give you credit for that, Stacey. When someone takes a non-ranked team, I think the first game we played, I was playing with Northwestern, and then you took an unranked team, but then when things get serious and you want to get that W, you go with the alma mater, right? I'm going. If it's serious, I'm gonna get a ranked team. I might just pick my Sooners. got to take the Sooners when you won that revenge game. You're like, I'm going with Oklahoma.
Yep.
But you've gotten me twice with Florida. Florida's a tough to dumps. That guy's a tough guy to cover. That running back, he just gives me hell, man. I've had a hard time stopping him. So
yeah, Florida's a much better, in my opinion, a much better ranked team than 20th ranked. You know, so I've always played with Florida. I play with Florida more than I play with Oklahoma, to be honest with you. And that goes back to when Tebow was there. I really liked their team then and how they played online, and I just kind of stuck with them. And their offense is still basically the same, with a few changes here and there. They've gone to a pro set now. So I've created the cool thing about online now is you can create your own playbook. So that's been a lot of fun. I've been able to take the plays that I've liked off certain playbooks and create my own super playbook, and that's kind of taken my game to another level.
Yes, it has. Yes, I mean your current record. Well, last time I saw your record, it was 117-80. That's not bad. You're about 30, almost 40 games over 500. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
What's the current record now? Are you on a win streak?
I think I'm like 120 something and 80. I'm on a 7-game win streak. I've had 2 win streaks of 20 plus games, and I'm ranked right now. I'm in like 700 rank, and I'm slowly moving up. The game is just fun. It gives me a release, because like I said, I love video games, and my kids play it, so it gives me a chance to bond with them because they really love to play the game too. So it just gives me another avenue, not only for myself, but also to enjoy my kids too, because they're old enough. I got 2 kids in college, and they play it, so it gives us another way to get close.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Stacey, I want to get your thoughts on the NBA 2K franchise. Of course, last year with NBA 2K11, they brought in all the classic Bulls teams, yourself included. What did it feel like to play with the new next generation version of Stacey King, not the old Bulls versus Lakers?
I liked it. The only bad thing about it, they had me as a right-hander. I'm a left-hander. They needed to change that. That's the first thing my son, when he played it, told me, like, Dad, you're left-handed, not right-handed. But, my three-point range is there. They gave me a little credit with the three-point range. Somebody recognized that I was a pretty good shooter, and I was a scorer in college, so they gave me some props there. And then when I play it, I'm always, I'm the leading scorer on the team. I don't even pass the ball to Jordan.
No, Jordan doesn't even touch the ball.
He doesn't get the ball. It's the Stacey King show when I play it.
You're giving them the hot sauce on the
Yeah. I get plenty of hot sauce. I give a lot of people hot sauce on that game.
No, for 2K12, I'll have to make sure I got some context there. I'll have to send them an email, make sure they got the shot right this year, because you're going to be back on the game this year because the '93 Bulls.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun, and it's cool though. The whole thing about it just being on the video game. I've been on the video game before, but the cool thing about it is now it's a whole different generation of kids playing the games that might not have seen those teams. Not just the Bulls' great teams, but, some of the older teams that are going to be coming out supposedly in 2012, the Celtics' old teams, Wilt Chamberlain, guys, the history of the NBA that guys, the kids don't really know about. They're going to be able to now open up a whole new chapter of what great players that played in this game, that were not named Jordan or LeBron.
Right. The 1965 Celtics, which I think is the team that's going to be on there, the 65 version. They're even going to go with the black and white. That game's going to be played in black and white.
That should be a little weird, but it's still the essence of the game, which will be. I think it'll be pretty cool because I don't think any game's ever done that, especially sports games. So it'll be pretty cool to see that come out.
Yeah, exactly. Now, of course, Stacey, everybody knows you from your great commentary on Bulls games, your classic calls on Derrick Rose dunk against Detroit, one of my personal favorites. If a game company ever approached you about doing commentary for a game, is that something you would fully embrace, I would assume?
Oh, yeah, man, I'd do it in a minute. I mean, that'd be a lot of fun. I think, when you watch these, sometimes watching the NBA games like watching a video game, some of the things these guys are able to do. They're just tremendous athletes, and watching a video game is no different. I mean, it's so lifelike. I would enjoy doing it. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Stacey, before I let you go, I want to go back to NCAA 12 for a second because that's the game. I played you about 3 or 4 times on there, and you played a lot. Now, you're kind of like me. We both play Madden, but we prefer the college football game. For me, I like doing the recruiting, building up my team, reloading every couple years. What is it for you personally that you like about the college game more than Madden?
Well, I just, I like the rah spirit. I like how they, being an ex-college athlete, they've really captured the moment of what it's like to be at a university and the student body, and they've captured pretty much on a video game the whole true essence of what the college experience is all about. Going to games on Saturday afternoon, watching your favorite teams play, the mascots, the stadium. It's so lifelike. And the gameplay, in my opinion, I think is, I know a lot of Madden people won't believe it, but I like the gameplay better. I think it's, to run the football in this game. I think it's, in order to be successful in the game, you got to have a running game. And in the college game, I think it's a little bit easier to run the ball than it is in Madden. Now, I haven't played the new Madden, so maybe they've changed that. But, my offense is predicated on running the football, and then we play off of that. But I know in Madden I have a harder time running the ball consistently. I still can run it, but I have a harder time running it consistently.
No, you're correct. I've had Madden 12 for about a week now, and it is harder to run. And I'm the same way as you. I'm run first, setting up the pass, doing all that. No, it's harder to run. The pass defense is just as hard, and now it's harder to run on Madden. So my offense.
Yeah, and when you can't run the ball, on online. Then basically you become one-dimensional, and the team can load up on you. It's just like real life. You have to be able to make adjustments. But with that said, if the team knows you're going to pass the ball, 80% of the time, they're just going to be in the zone defense and just basically take that away, and really make you have to work to score. And I think whenever you can implement a running game, and it's just like real life, the run sets up the pass. And if you get a team where they're stacking up at 8 and 9 in the box, and audible out, and you can throw passes. So the running game is really important, and I just think it's a lot easier running it at the college level. And it's not easy, but you can do it a little bit better than you can in Madden, in my opinion.
Stacey, I want to get one question in about the Chicago Bulls before I let you go. I want to get your thoughts on next season. If there is an NBA season, I personally think there will be. I don't think we're going to lose a season due to a lockout. I think they'll eventually get things done like they did with the NFL. But as far as the Bulls go for next season, do you see them standing pat and continuing to grow, or do you think they need to make a big move to get to that next level?
They're going in the right direction. They had big leaps last year. The Eastern Conference Final, a couple plays here and there. They easily could have been in the final. So they're going in the right direction. They're young. They got a young core group. So, whenever this lockout ends, hopefully, like I said, I'm not going to panic until October rolls around. That's when training camp starts. But hopefully they'll get it worked out and they'll get this season started, because there's a lot of fans out there that really love this game, and it was probably the best basketball season that the NBA's had in quite some time. So hopefully they'll get it worked out and the Bulls get back and get that momentum that they had last year.